All right, so welcome back. I hope you all enjoyed that throwback to the past of hip hop and Dice Raw. But now let's talk about right now, man, and this incredible show that you're on the road with, The Last Jimmy. First off, where does the title, The Last Jimmy, where does it come from?
The title is actually a play off of what Michelle Alexander, her book, The New Jim Crow.
The New Jim. We're gonna mention that book a few times.
Yeah.
The New Jim Crow, Michelle Alexander, one of the most important books that you can read now. Go ahead,
pretty much. And so her book was entitled The New Jim Crow. So I was telling you, I did an album called Jimmy's Back.
In the heart of the city where we worry, can't be afraid, has to be brave, can't show fear or emotion.
Because she was like the new Jim Crow. I'm like, well, old Jim Crow, new Jim Crow, damn, he's still around. So let me do a joint called Jimmy's Back. Mm-hmm. And then when I took it, when it went from the album to the play, Phil Brown, the writer and director of the play, he took it to the last. Which we gonna get him on here in a minute. Right.
You know,
he took it to the next level and said, this is gonna be the last Jimmy, because we already had the old Jim Crow. Mm-hmm. Now we got the new Jim Crow. Let's make sure Jim Crow never comes back after this, and let's do everything in our power to make sure that doesn't happen. So that's why, we came with the title The Last Jimmy.
So Dice, in a synopsis, because we don't want to take it for granted that people even know what Jim Crow is.
Okay.
Right? A little bit. What is Jim Crow?
Well, Jim Crow laws, they were designed after slavery during the Reconstruction period, right, Phil? Like the Reconstruction period, and they were designed to keep blacks, jobless, segregated and separate from, white neighbors, and
legislated oppression.
Legislated everything, exactly. Yes. Legislated oppression and no rights. And a black person could be arrested for small infractions and things like that. And the Jim Crow laws, they went from basically Reconstruction period up into the mid '60s, where Thurgood Marshall had it outlawed,
right?
And found illegal. You know what I'm saying? Because he was a judge, criminal justice, Supreme Court judge, first black Supreme Court judge. But now they've taken those practices of Jim Crow and repackaged them the same way they did back in the day. They take those Jim Crow ideas and repackage them, and problems with mass incarceration, and tie those things together. So taking away somebody's right to vote, that's like a street strikes you out, like
crack law
being 18 to 1. It used to be 100 to 1. You know what I'm saying? So we came a long way, but still 18 to 1. That's like it's a lot of time. You know what I'm saying?
So now pull that into how The Last Jimmy came about and what The Last Jimmy is about.
Okay, well, when I read Michelle's book, like once again we're gonna reference that.
Right.
As closely as I was tied into knowing people who were incarcerated for a long time, as closely as I was tied into even me personally being arrested once a year. Like I used to get locked up once a year. I just couldn't figure out why.
Looking at the watch, like,
I'm like, yo,
I didn't get arrested
I'm like, I'll be driving down the street like, is today the day? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I used to get locked up one time a year. And the way that Michelle compartmentalized everything in the book, it just inspired me so much to want to do a project. So I did the Jimmy's Back, and then we came to do the album. We came to do the play, The Last Jimmy, and I was inspired to do that when I performed at Apple Store in New York. iTunes asked me to come up there and do a performance because they heard I had a new record coming out.
Right.
And they didn't know it was about mass incarceration. They didn't know what it was about. It was like, well, thanks, I got a new project. Well, come perform it in our store, and maybe we'll sell some iPads that day or something.
Right.
And I told him, I said, well, I have a different kind of style performance. I said, I had like a lawyer dress up like a white guy, and I had these brothers in orange jumpsuits just kind of like lining the stage. And the Apple Store was like, that was dope. And I was like, well, maybe I could even take it further.
But when I was young, it was something about corners. My grandma used to pull me off, told me if I stay, I'd be a goner. Told me that I was an African king. We should have stayed at ass in Ghana. But now I'm in the United States, just your average black.
My partner Phil, I knew that he had already been with Disney and BT and all these amazing places that new theater and films. So I said, Phil, can you do something with this? And he was like, of course. You know what I'm saying? And then that's how it was born, and that's how we got to this particular place.
Beautiful. And so, the description that you just gave, and not to focus on the controversy, but let's talk about it a little bit. Because enough respect to Kendrick Lamar for the Grammy performance that he did last year, and there was you took some issue to some of the elements that were taken from the Grammy performance that was used, that it was drawn from the show. Since that time, has there been, you had any communication with the brother, or has it been smoothed out? Has it been rectified? Or was it even acknowledged?
Well, I mean, it definitely was acknowledged by both parties. You know, they can't reached out, and we spoke, and but I never spoke to Kendrick one-on-one. Got you. And that's basically what I wanted, because I was like, you know, if you didn't take no elements from the show, just say, yo, Dice, I didn't do it. And what reason would I have not to believe you as a man? But you know, I don't want to talk too much about that, because like you said, I got respect for him as an individual, and I got respect even for him taking that risk, because it's risky doing a show like this. It's risky using elements like this, no matter how you package it or whatever. They definitely stole stuff from our show, but it's like the message is so important. It's like, you know, we ain't really tripping like that. It would have been nice to get a phone call, but you know.
Yeah, and we don't want to cloud this with that wherever it goes. Everybody needs to see this. But in saying that,
but he put a lot on the line to do it.
He put a lot on the line to do it, and
even our friendship.
And so okay, so the last Jimmy is out on the cusp of our Boricua brother Miranda, right, putting out Hamilton, which which is redefining history, you know, through hip hop, pulling 11 Tony Awards down.
We already knew that hip hop was that powerful, though.
Yes, hip hop changed the world without firing a shot. You know what I mean? And so Lin-Manuel Miranda puts out, you know, Hamilton, the hip hop musical, you know, redefining what history was. So now when you're looking at the last Jimmy and coming in on the cusp, obviously you were already working on that before that thing popped off.
Oh yeah, but you know, Lin is the homie. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I was very instrumental with even bringing the Roots and Lin together.
Really?
Oh yeah. You know what I'm saying? With Riggs Morales and Atlantic Records. You know.
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah. So, I mean, Lin is the homie. And, you know, in the Roots, you know, they worked on the Hamilton project, and even on their own website, they was like, yo, Dice Raw's Last Jimmy was the first hip-hop musical. It was like, well, they actually phrased it, before Hamilton, it was Dice Raw's Last Jimmy. But, you know, we all family, we all friends.
Yeah. I just didn't even know that. I was like, I just know that it was a hip-hop musical, and the timing, you had to have been working on that before, so.
Oh, yeah, we had been working on it way before we heard Hamilton. And,
Word up.
But it's all good. I mean, I'm proud of Lin and the pedagogy for the way that, you know, kids can learn history. And the flip side is, a lot of people don't even talk about Alexander Hamilton and how he actually was half black.
Yeah.
That part, they don't even really touch on that like that.
Yeah.
But they do. He says, you know, I was born in the Caribbean. My mother was, you know, I'm the son of a whore. But it's like, okay, a person in the Caribbean, well, he must have been half black. Yeah, but you know. And that's why Barack Obama really liked it too. You know what I mean? Because Barack, he was a big Hamilton fan.
All right, rewind that part right there. We're going to play that part right over again. And listen, we're going to be right back. Hey, I want to go into one of my favorite Roots videos. And this is the one with the subtitles. We're going to go into What They Do. All right, we're going to go into that one.
Never do what they do, baby.
That's right. Hey, we'll be right back, all right?